debuted back in January, the friendly against Serbia.
Alright guys, I forgot to start my live. Sorry. There we go.
Hold on. Bucio.
Yeah, we're blue.
Pereira feeds wide for Brian Reynolds, who scored a world-class goal against St. Kitts and Nevis. Chipped over the top from Bucio. Shepherded away.
No.
Sheldon Bateau.
Only Fox Sports is there. Because we don't have a TV provider.
Match against St. Kitts and Nevis.
Like we're paying money to have this account. We have a TV provider.
Brian Reynolds in the 14th, Jesus Pereira in the 16th and the 25th. Pereira 4-0 by the time we got to the half-hour mark.
No, yeah. I wish there was a way we could.
As simple this time out against a much stronger Trinidad side, who also easily took care of business against St. Kitts and Nevis, who were one of the top stories of the prelims, making it through to their first ever Gold Cup. Major accomplishment in and of itself for the Sugar Boys. Once they got to group play, the level disparity was clear. Bucio flicks it ahead. Philip drops it, but
at least
keeps it away from Hold On.
I know. I'll try to find a better stream in the meantime. But for now, we're going to
Bucio with Venezia over in Italy. Been there the last 2 seasons. His first year there, Serie A First Division side.
I'll let you know if I find
Second season, a Second Division Serie B side. But all the while, a regular starter for Venezia when healthy. A couple of injuries along the way, cost him some time.
Well, again, I'm finding a better one.
Reynolds, Neal, expect this throughout the day. The United States controlling possession. Trinidad and Tobago will look to be lethal on the counter if and when it's there.
No. Well, I mean, we are paying for it as it is, but then you have to
Lucio gives it behind for Zendejas.
So we're paying for Fox and we get nothing out of it?
The United States side very stingy.
Well, yeah,
Gold
like
Cup.
some things are just like...
Clean sheet against St. Kitts and Nevis. They allowed just the 1 goal against Jamaica. They even going back to the 2021 tournament. They lifted the trophy. Allowed just 1 goal in 6 matches with 5 clean sheets. Mihailovic. For Roldan, overlap coming from Jones. Dewan Jones is possessed by Levi Garcia. Well done defensively.
That's worse. Yeah, see, like, seems like all the other streams are just worse.
We don't have the best player.
Garcia's been terrific for AEK Athens since he joined in September of 2020.
I don't know which roster we have.
Mihailovic.
Yeah, I don't know which roster we have.
On the back end by Tristan Hodge.
That's the one we're on right now.
Joven Jones.
We're going to find it.
Garcia.
Okay, I found something slightly better,
Jones.
so let me switch over now. I found something that's slightly better, so let me hop over there now. So let me hop over there now, and then we'll just keep going as we need to. We'll keep going.
Ties and/or experience, 2 soccer North American, 2 Canadian-born players, MLS veterans, current USL Championship players.
I mean, they're doing that so they don't get
Trinidad and Tobago last. Who slipped there, gave the space to Zendejas. He's able to find Ferreira, couldn't take it cleanly with him. Sheldon Bateau got his chest in the way.
Because again, like many other teams are way worse than this.
Shaw just trying to hold it up and give Trinidad and Tobago any sort of possession. He's fouled by Miles Robinson.
Jesus Ferreira's taking up some really good spots. Just his understanding of when do I drop, when do I go beyond, when do I run right through the middle. And it is a back 4 as of now for Trinidad and Tobago. So I think that favors the United States in that they can create these overloads, these man advantages in the wide parts of the field. And then those little combinations, so they can find Mihailovic and Bucio in front of the back line, just behind the midfield. I think they can turn and they can really play some of these defense-splitting passes.
United States trying to match Mexico and winning an 8th Gold Cup title. That's been a big message from BJ Callahan. That opportunity comes because of the work you put into the group stage. Finishing it strong.
I don't want to do
with momentum to the quarterfinals. Only a week from today, Cincinnati, Ohio's driving on.
Well, I mean, I'll do English because then I want to.
Was a part of that World Cup winning team 2 years ago for Reynolds. Zendejas. Like Zendejas' cross was blocked.
So, well, let me see.
Just trying to run out, but again, he stumbles. He's lost his footing a couple times on this surface.
Who else is that? Okay, Univision.
Yeah, how do we do it? How do we,
Well, you see, I fear if we do Univision as well, they'll require.
Neil trying to find Lucio Alvarez did.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, but I want to watch the game too.
71 touches to lead the team in the last match, and it's going to be a theme again. When they are Trinidad and Tobago sitting off the United States a little bit deeper, he's not afraid to engage the midfield on the attacking line for them by stepping in, drawing a man, opening up and freeing a man. As you see, big header there again from him. So for a guy that came in at halftime of the first match, and has now become, as we told you in the lineups, the first teenager to start back-to-back games in the United States since 1985. He's shown a lot of composure out there, and just even hearing his voice and seeing the way in which he handles himself has been impressive.
Jalen Neal from Jenny Tapp down the field. Jenny?
It's John, we get the opportunity to talk to the players, to catch up at training. We like to ask them, and we really ask everyone, who stands out? Jalen Neal has been mentioned so many times. Miles Robinson said he's a great player, he's calm on the ball, he's just 19, as Stu pointed out. James Sand said nothing phases him. He's got a great head.
Here's Zendejas putting it up and over. Jenny, go ahead.
It's just the beginning.
There's so far no new streams.
Well, Zendejas with an opportunity here. Now, this was a focus of the last match, and he had 5 shots, none of them hitting the target. A couple of really good looks. They pull the end product missing. You could visually just see his frustration after a game in which the United States won 6-0. And so I just think a guy right now in front of goal is lacking a bit of confidence. You can see that in some of the execution.
Duel there, Sands a late recovery. Robinson just plays in an open space. And then Mihailovic draws contact on a family. Garcia comes away. Mihailovic down behind the play. As that cross comes to Jovan Jones, who missed it. And that's all in Matt Turner's line of sight. He's got the sun right in his face as that one comes in.
Oh, wow. Just Mihailovic ended up running an extra touch away, gives it straight to Levi Garcia. And what a pick out this is, because the United States and Brian Reynolds is further up the field because they had possession. And it comes in, and Jovan Jones takes this with his foot, his left foot. And I remember going all the way back to the early years of coaching. The better play there was the head, because you can have more control over where it goes as opposed to really timing it and trying to get over the top of it with his foot. And that's exactly what happens. He tries to guide it, guides it over the crossbar. What a chance.
Warning shot for the U.S. rolled on. Not quite the right angle for DeJuan Jones, but Alvin Jones will play it out for a U.S. throw. Go back in. Rolls on, was blocked by DeJuan Jones. He was trying to play Mihailovic. Jones will pick it back up.
Take a shot.
Reynolds for Zendejas. Waits for Reynolds overlap. Has it. Now the cross into a terrific area. There's no one there in a blue shirt.
Why? Why don't you just set up?
I liked the interchanging between Reynolds and Zendejas in the last match, and in this one he's coming inside Zendejas. That opens up the space, the overlapping run. Really smart run, because Jovan Jones hesitates there, doesn't go with him step for step, and then just that ball right there, a little too firm when he had a lot of space and an opportunity there to put it into a dangerous spot.
Listen, I want to enjoy the game too. Like,
even attacking that one, and wasn't able to get the right side for the Trinidad and Tobago defenders.
No, I'll try on my
Jones,
phone.
yes, the Alvin Jones. If you know the story, you don't want me to continue.
But I
If
really
you don't,
hate
it's for
doing
your
Spanish.
benefit. But it was his goal. October the 10th, 2017, on the 37th minute. It was a mishit cross. But it found the back of the net. It made it 2-0 Trinidad and Tobago. U.S. was not able to come all the way back, and that was why the U.S. men missed the World Cup in 2018. Even though it didn't get Trinidad and Tobago in, they were already eliminated. It did, in a sense, return the favor. You saw that wonderful Tom Rinaldi feature for what the U.S. did in Port of Spain, November the 19th, 1989.
If you need a TV
Trinidad and
provider,
Tobago,
forget it.
denying them what would have been their first ever World Cup.
Does it say you
And
need a
then of
TV
the U.S.
provider?
back for the first time in 40 years as Buzio miscontrols that to Jovan Jones.
Just hate it. I
Lodge thinking about a cross shot for Jovan Jones.
Damn,
Who's the older brother
I
of
don't
Alvin
get fully
Jones.
engaged in the game if I understand.
Garcia.
Ha!
Now for Kevin Molino. Next time the teams met after that disaster in Cuba was at the Gold Cup in Cleveland 4 years ago. A 6-0 win for the United States. Who's on this roster, scored twice. The U.S. beat Trinidad and Tobago 7-0 in a game about 2.5 years ago. There's been very much one-way traffic historically between these nations. With the exception of that one night in 2017 where the team
Here.
Sing opens it up. Good spell for Trinidad and Tobago. Here's Tristan Hodge. That's for Hartford Athletic in the USL Championship.
Unless you can
Shaw returns it.
for this. Because if you do it on here, then I get paid for it. Or rather, I get paid for it.
Reynolds in its last half of Hodge for US drop.
Yes. No, you have to do it right away. Let me see. Oh. See, let's just do this. Okay, experiment nothing. Experiment nothing.
Able to find Mihailovic. Gets it away for Dewan Jones on the run.
Yeah, thank you.
Inside, which is doing a nice ball.
Roldan has it now. Rose coming
Yeah,
in.
go through it.
Trying to hook that back though. Shot. It's a handball. It's coming in for who scores?
Yay! No, I saw it. Wow, okay. Well, I didn't miss it, you did. And that's what you get for complaining about this. See? That's what you get.
Oh, what a terrific move for the United States from back to front, going all the way back in their own half, building through. Mihailovic finds Jones, then he finds Roldan, he gets him back, and a great job just to cut this one back. And again, this is what I talk about with Jesus Ferreira. In the box, his quick release. Once this comes across, sure there's a high shot for him, but almost forces everybody to stop. But the first touch pops up, and then look how quickly that comes across to the far side of the goal past Marvin Phillip. But that is just a great team goal from the U.S. Everything you want. Players getting on the turn, Sands finding Mihailovic getting it to his left back. Jones comes inside, 1-2, squared across, and then Jesus Ferreira once again, 21st appearance, 12 goals now for the United States. And the man can't stop scoring something. B.J. Callahan told us yesterday, he said, look, I challenged him and he loves it. He said, I need to be on the score sheet. Well, he is again early here.
There's Buzio quickly forward.
Kukla, move out of there. Get her out of there.
Sendejas takes a wheel right in the face by Tristan Hodge in the box as well. Reynolds cycles it around. Sendejas trying to return to the play. Buzio charging through. Hands it off. Sendejas back onside. Tight quarters there. This is where the U.S. were absolutely wonderful the other night. Is one goal turned to two, turned to three, quick as lightning, and it comes from Reynolds and back out. 3 goals for the U.S. against St. Kitts and Nevis in just less than 4 minutes. It was the fastest 3-goal stretch in a competitive game in U.S. history.
Hodge just kind of extends that right arm and gets some contact on Sendejas there. The two of them just having a little conversation after the play, sharing a nice moment. I don't think it was intentional that he was trying to catch him in the face. He's more so trying to feel for the defender to stop and shield him from coming.
Escobar is only 36, but he does have a lot of experience as a referee at the World Cup last year with Qatar. That's the 2019 final of the Gold Cup between the U.S. and Mexico.
Okay, look, again, can you make it a PNT connected to the music?
Yes. You don't want to do this. Uh-oh. Problem. Read that. Read the gray.
Spirited atmosphere. Here in Charlotte,
What
North
ends in 4
Carolina,
minutes?
we're here.
Okay, see, I told you, you need a fucking team
Provider.
provider.
See? 74,000 here for Charlotte FC's inaugural home match.
It's not okay, that's in 5 minutes and then we'll be done.
Rose Bowl in El Tráfico between the LA Galaxy and LAFC. This is actually
No,
the first time that the U.S.
Hold on.
Charlotte property.
Let me pause for a second.
94
Miles Robinson.
We are back, guys. Sorry about that.
Those center backs are trying to engage with Shaw. Then they get him to turn over. It's just the United States, they're spacing right now, and the man advantages they're creating tactically very good.
Jones, and that will check up in the surface for Mihailovic. He'll play it across too far for Zendejas.
I think that's going to stay in.
I mean, you're recalibrating everything here with the roll of the ball, the bounces. That one's going to be a foul if Jones goes down. But yeah, you're also relearning, chasing down things on other surfaces you would give up.
Yeah, 100%. But unfortunately, it does slow the game down in general.
She has it. I'm trying this. Yeah, I mean, Dad, I told you we tried like 5 times with box and it didn't work. So therefore, it won't work there. And congratulations, you wasted $10. When I clearly tried to warn you, that will not work.
Overturn the goal differential disadvantage they have coming in. If they want to win the group and flip the brackets some in this Gold Cup, as Robinson's able to steal that back from Turner. As it stands, Trinidad and Tobago are eliminated in the group stage for its second consecutive Gold Cup. Ferreira flipping that over. This is out, jump man down is Hodge, and that's going to be a whistle and a foul there. That's more feeling that Zendejas undercut him in the air. Yeah, for a Trinidad and Tobago team that needs to come from behind and win this game, they do not exactly have a sense of urgency about them.
Yeah, but they did have probably before their Ferreira chance, the best chance of the game, and how different that would be if German Jones had stuck that one in at the back post.
It was 4 minutes before Ferreira's goal, that wonderful look. Bateau going long, Levi Garcia in chase. Juan Jones got chasing all the way. Garcia beats him to it, and then awkward there from Garcia, losing his footing, losing the ball. And slowly jogging back into the play. Mihailovic trying to get rolled on the ref. His third ever start of the Gold Cup match, and that sort of ran away from there before he could play a pass in. Singh weaving his way through. Good look by Kevin Molino. One of the most promising players to come to North America. Out of Trinidad and Tobago, and just a series of knee injuries that has bogged down his career in MLS. Great to see him back on the field for his 4th Gold Cup. It's good work by Sands to win it back. Muzio for Mihailovic, who had 2 goals and 2 assists Wednesday against St. Kitts and Nevis. Can they find the angle for DeJuan Jones?
DeJuan Jones has someone put his head down there. Oh, I gotta make this run, don't I? It's hot out there.
Ferreira looking for space. Tackled off it by Molina. It's a terrific tackle. And we could have a hydration break really at any moment here on a dead ball. And you're seeing a number of players out there that would be very happy to have that happen. The entire field is in shade now. It is still exceptionally warm and muggy as Christian Roldan sort of bounces off Molino, and he opens it up to the far side for Hodge. Molino for Hackshot. He's just hauled down by Sands.
You know, just talking about that heat, it was one of the things coming into this game and our opening hit about what do the United States need to do today? And it was about intensity, aggressiveness, but that was in the early stages of the game. Now, I thought the U.S. had that. They were lucky not to concede, but then they went back the other way, found the goal. It also becomes about in moments like this game management and controlling the game with the ball.
No,
so
maybe you should have the right password
to work
and it's
defensively, moving them around, and still playing aggressively in the way in which you
no,
can
but
challenge them.
including
And
that,
also
that doesn't have an atomic
aggressiveness and intensity that I think some people would want.
Could be that. I mean, I tried to warn you, and it was
If you
$10.
can't keep going like this.
Here's Alex and Dave trying to return for too far in front of him. An awkward bounce. Rodon has a chance to pick it up.
Yes, you did. You wasted $10 on that.
He's going to take a long tackle there.
Are you sure?
There's Alvin Jones.
I
A
thought
really
you did.
U.S. throw as Rodon pops
Okay,
back to his
I'm
feet.
glad you didn't pay for it. I'm glad you didn't pay.
Again, you don't have to be lightning quick if you're the U.S. Unless Jamaica starts to put pressure on you, and it's still scoreless in Santa Clara right now. Miles Robinson opens it up for Brian Reynolds. Back for Buzio. Zendejas away from him. Garcia lays it back.
That was a good decision there by Jalen Neal. Did you see him check in like he was going to go aggressive to try to win the ball back and recognize the situation and then dropped off 10 yards instead of engaging and then allowing his team to get the pressure in the midfield line. Great decision there by the 19-year-old.
Mihailovic is defending numbers forward. Zendejas couldn't control it cleanly. And as that was going on, by the way, Agnes Eve, the Trinidad Tobago manager, was furious. He was hopping up and down angry that his team didn't go quick when they won the ball, but they didn't break out and try to attack it at the end.
I thought that the break was on, yeah, and that's why Jalen Neal quickly went aggressively. And I just wonder then, in the attacking player's mind, I forget who had the ball now in that moment, but with Neal coming out aggressively, sometimes it makes you think, okay, I got to turn out of pressure and turn back the other way. So that's defending without actually making a tackle.
That's one of the things that PJ Callahan has talked about for the 19-year-old Jalen Neal. He's picking up on some of those things very well. He's really impressed with his soccer IQ, his composure. You would not sit down and talk with him as we did in St. Louis and think we're talking to a teenager. And again, a guy who's only on the field because Aaron Long had a quad injury. Miles Robinson got hurt in the Nations League Finals.
Yeah, see, I mean, I tried
We
to
expect to be
tell
seeing a ton of
they really
Jalen
get
Neal
you.
this Gold Cup. And he's made himself a consistent starter now, back-to-back games, and we do expect to see Miles Robinson come off at the half. This is an opportunity for them to see what his fitness is like coming off the
The
injury.
only one streaming tonight
2
on
weeks
Fox
ago.
and
Buzio there had to get out of the way. A shocking flying through.
well, yeah, well, enjoy the 5 minutes you have.
That's what we talk about. Miles Robinson,
All I'm
2
saying
years
is
ago at the
enjoy
Gold
the 5
Cup.
minutes
That's what
you have.
catapulted him. He
After
would have
that,
started the
I'm
World
saying
Cup had it not been for an Achilles injury. Matt Turner used the Gold Cup 2 years ago as a catapult, became the starter at the World Cup a year and a half later, something no one thought was going to happen when that Gold Cup began 2 years ago. Long run for Zendejas. It's going to get there as the ball slows up. No, Phillip just out in time. So who are the guys on this field that can use this Gold Cup as a springboard? Because all roads right now lead to 2026 in the World Cup, which will be here in the United States. Trinidad Tobago to build. Terrific tackle by Robinson. Buzio there. That was a bit awkward as he got stretched out and then trampled over by Shaw.
It was a good recovery from Miles Robinson. He gets beat initially a little too aggressively in the midfield, but then is able to use his athleticism to get back and get goal side of Malcolm Shaw. And then as Shaw tries to take him on, great 1v1 defending just to poke it away. Gets a little help on the second ball from Buzio, who took some contact on the way down.
He only played a half Wednesday night. That was more a fitness issue because he had a bit of a break at the end of his season in Italy. So we'll see how long he goes today. He's from North Carolina. His older brother Mateo briefly played at UNC Charlotte. That's where the U.S. men have been training. Down in Charlotte here the last few days. Ferreira for Zendejas. Just showed a little too much of that one.
A couple of giveaways again for Zendejas, and I reference his confidence. He just seems a guy that's second-guessing himself, making bad decisions. Here comes Trinidad.
Garcia running away from Buzio. Robinson tries to slow up and can't. And that shot is a comfortable first save of the game for Matt Turner.
Well, it came off a U.S. turnover. That's the danger that sometimes Trinidad and Tobago, they have some quality, especially through Levi Garcia, who tried to take on 4 or 5 different defenders there and was able to work the shot. But as you said, it was a pretty easy save for Matt Turner.
The 26th of his Gold Cup career, gets just 2 goals allowed, one of which was the header from that free kick against Jamaica last weekend in Chicago. And saved the penalty, otherwise the U.S. would have been in real trouble, down 2-0 after a half hour in Jamaica. They were able to fight their way back for that draw. Ferreira, Buzio, routes to the outside, back in for Ferreira. He puts it over.
Just leaning back here, Jesus Ferreira, as he tries to take it. The first touch was pretty good. It sets him up to have this strike. It's a little bit behind him as well. This ball from Buzio, the easy pass would have been wide instead, trying to mix it up. And that first touch, Zio's back behind him. It forces him to kind of take a step back, and he's stretching for it. This is the one from Levi Garcia, the quality that he has. See it later. Buzio just bursts past it with speed, then cuts the other side of Miles Robinson, gets him to hesitate, go down, is able to drag that shot across goal. And now we get the hydration break.
And the hydration break coming on a very warm evening here in Charlotte, in the United States, leading at Trinidad and Tobago 1-0. And Jesus Ferreira's 4th goal of the tournament so far. Back to the studio we go in Rockstone.
Well, John, you talked about that Jesus Ferreira goal, so let's revisit it. Came in the 14th minute, his 4th goal here. He is your golden boot leader, and he is the talking point right now for the U.S. men's national team.
What I love about this goal is it could have been a handball here, but they continue to play on. But watch the release, how quickly this ball comes off of the foot here. Ferreira receives this, it pops up, and it's just so quickly it goes into the back of the net. No one even had time to react except for Ferreira. Fantastic goal all the way around.
I've enjoyed, you see Ferreira scoring the goal, but how many numbers they get in the box. We talked about that aggressive approach, and the way that they're playing, it's allowing them to have the freedom from Buzio, the freedom from Mihailovic, and Deas on one side to get into the box. When the ball gets played wide, you see as Ferreira scores a goal, but more importantly, there's different options to pick out in the box, Lex, and I think that's been key so far in trying to keep that press high up on the pitch and not allow Trinidad to build out of that.
Yeah, Ferreira awesome with that first touch, but I really like his movement also. Zadejas still continues to struggle and is forcing it. Mihailovic still hasn't asserted himself in this game. And then Jalen Neal, we talked about probably the biggest winner so far in this Gold Cup in terms of how he has come on with his composure and his passes out of the back.
I want to give you a quick update live over on FS1 right now. Jamaica, St. Kitts, Nevis. They're in a hydration break, and Jamaica has just taken the lead in the 30th minute. So a pair of 1-0 games right now, currently in Group A.
That's still good enough for the U.S. They would need Jamaica to really pull on to have an issue.
We can do it at halftime, it's not now.
I mean, just off the back of what Alexis said there, the word of forcing it. Forcing it's right. I think sometimes in a situation like this, as
takes it away from Mihailovic, bit of a stumble, able to keep it, clipping it forward too far for Jovan Jones.
He's a technical player. He can create a moment which is special. It's something a little bit different, but certainly when you're in a little bit of a streak like he is, I think he's putting a lot of pressure on himself, and he is forcing it. Keep it simple. It's the best and most effective thing that you could do within the game. Make the easy pass. Make the hard pass. Don't take extra touches. The game will come to him. He's going to get chances. He's that kind of player. I think he's a pretty smart player. Reads the game well. He finds good spots. But sometimes it's just decision making. And when you're in a situation like that, it's not a crisis. He's getting opportunities. That's a good thing. But the execution of the second guessing is there. So just with Alexei talking about forcing it, you can see him just putting those easy passes. You can see him getting a goal in a game like this. But right now it's not working for him.
Juan Archibald, the St. Kitts and Nevis goalkeeper, with an own goal. He had 9 saves against the U.S., was heroic in defeat Wednesday night in St. Louis, but it's his own goal that has given Jamaica the lead on St. Kitts and Nevis. Still 3 goals to the good, and they come in with more goals scored as well. If goal differential finishes level between the U.S. and Jamaica, the next tiebreaker is how many goals you've scored.
Apparently the crowd had a hydration break as well. We got the waves going in the 32nd minute.
There's Reynolds charging in. Could dribble his way past Sheldon Benton. Something BJ Callahan talked about. We want to win the game. We want to be aggressive. We don't want to be reckless, though. And cause ourselves more trouble as we're coming together there between Zadejas and Jovan Jones.
Yeah, I think the words were reckless if the group and the wins at stake. And He did say they aggressively want to try and win the group, so if there needs to be goals, they're going to go for it. I said at the beginning of this match, I think the second half is going to really open up because Trinidad and Tobago have to win this match to have any opportunity. So unless they just want to say, hey, let's just lose by a goal and go out of here in that way, I would expect that they're going to open the game with more space. Subs will have a big impact in the second half of this game.
Don from Sands, early cross off a deflection, works back for Ferreira. Tie corner skips away. Ferreira tackled off the line for a U.S. corner. Their first of the game.
US corner, first time of the game.
Chance for the big bodies to very slowly make their way up the field. To take. This inside ball is way too deep to the back post. Long run for Reynolds to get there first. He got the touch to that one, but Shaw sort of angled him off, and it's out for a Trinidad and Tobago throw, and that chance comes another.
It's not the 18, is it?
And to continue the thought on Zendejas, we did speak about it with BJ Callahan yesterday. He said the biggest thing they've been telling Alex Zendejas, just stop being so hard on yourself. He said you can't define yourself by just those moments, whether you're scoring a goal or not. Focus on the good chances that you're getting. Understand that the law of averages means one or two are going to go in. And view that as the icing on the cake, more so than what defines your worth to this team. Really something that BJ Callahan told us last night. He's been emphasizing the whole team. Make impacts any way you can. Any way you're asked to on this field. Zach Crosser will done this in the hands of Phillip. And he wants to go quick.
Alright.
Field as well, sliding across to nod that away. And oohs and ahs. Levi Garcia trying to cut it back on Juwan Jones.
Levi Garcia is a player.
Lino's cross, Turner hesitates, but he's there.
He had a great year in Greece, won the title there, and you can just see who flashes. He's the danger man for Trinidad and Tobago.
Jenny, how's it feel down there, not in this somewhat air-conditioned booth that we're in?
Well, thanks for reminding me of that.
I know.
So Hugo, you know, Alex is like a mule, like a Kool-Aid, doing another
Shaded. There's a nice
part. I can see the look in her face. She's a nervous wreck, and she's not going to be good company here. I know the look.
Oh, see, because of the
She was a nervous wreck before the thing at the luncheon I flew all the way for, and then she was exhausted after. She was exhausted.
Oh my
It's
God.
just the party.
Guys, I wouldn't say it's
They're making so much pressure on themselves.
Well, no, Caroline made it on Alex.
She's like,
Phillip will pick it up.
But we used to take comfort in the fact that we felt we could play at a higher intensity than other teams over the course of 90 minutes. And so it does become about, okay, look, the game's 1-0 right now. We're on top. We have good run of play as we look back at Levi Garcia and what he was able to do. But then also we knew that at a point in the second half, the game would really open up. And that's when you really go for the jugular and you really try to finish a team off.
Lucio charging forward. Was blocked by Hackshaw as he tried to play it in for Ferreira. Ryan Reynolds, who scored on his birthday Wednesday night, second player in U.S. men's history to do that. The last was Ernie Stewart in 2001, a couple months before Reynolds was even born. Juwan Jones for Mihailovic. Mihailovic hands it out to Juwan Jones. Wasn't quite ready for that one. It's a big tackle by Alvin Jones out for the U.S. corner.
Yeah, the pass ends up being underhand from Mihailovic, just holds up again and the grass stops rolling. That allows Alvin Jones just to lay out for it, and Juwan Jones is already committed to it. He has to go in to the challenge. This last one for Mihailovic, a little too far to the back post, not giving anybody a chance here to attack it.
Here comes the second one. Again, deep to the back post. Sands in the area. It's flicked on by Singh. And Shaw will track it down in the corner. Bianchi getting loose right now. That would make sense for a substitute. Miles Robinson at the half, as they really only want Robinson to go about 45 minutes coming off his injury. The U.S. will have a week before their quarterfinal in Cincinnati. 1 week from tonight. Great ball.
Wow,
Zendaya
what a
to
pass.
Mihailovic, that cross to the back post for
What a pass. What a pass. You see the pass?
Woo! You know it's true I did.
United States doubles
You
their
see the
lead.
pass?
Woo!
You see the pass?
Yep.
You missed it.
That was an awesome
That
pass.
was like a messy pass. Look.
You want to run here and a pass from Mihailovic. Zendejas doesn't stop when he doesn't get the initial one. Stays in behind.
Look, look.
Three.
know.
Trinidad and Tobago players finding Ferreira at the back post. Bounces around. Philip makes the first save. He stays with it and away. But that pass right there opens the whole game up. And also a willingness to run in behind. Philip has got to do better though. He fumbles it right back to Ferreira, who then is able to gather himself on the second one. Just that right hand palms it. He's trying to gather it in. But then how quickly again, that little touch right there, evading Philip. And as you say, it'll be interesting next mark to his own goal or not. It is a shot on target. And into the back of the net, Ferreira could be on two. The United States here cruising.
Mihailovic is fouled. And a yellow card for Kevin Molino.
Oh, wow. Wow, Craig.
Different leagues, different competitions have different standards. In general, in MLS historically, if the intent is to score a goal, they give it to the goal scorer. In the English Premier League for a long time, if a defender touched it in any way at all, it was counted as an own goal. So we'll see what that ends up going down as. But, I mean, we're potentially talking about Jesus Ferreira back-to-back hat-tricks.
Pirate of the Caribbean is...
You've loved that the last couple of days. So here's why you said that.
Yeah.
He's got 13, if that one goes in as his, 13 career goals, 11 of them against
Ow, I stuck my toe.
He scuffed it. He's looking for
missed
his
it.
first
No, he stuck my toe.
That was a great chance.
Off the ball for Ferreira, who's having another great game. And we can dive into this a little bit more with Jesus Ferreira, because you can set it up, and then I'll add on the back of it, but I just think that a guy that catches so much heat, and a lot of it is unwarranted from what he has been able to do in the U.S. shirt, the amount of goals he scores, doesn't matter against who, he doesn't pick the opponent that he's playing against.
Over the top it comes, that ball will check up on the temporary ground service, allowing Levi Garcia to run it to Juan Jones.
Danger.
Get a clean little bit ball there, Mihailovic takes it away. Leno to step in and win that back off Mihailovic.
Danger again.
That ball just finally does go out, and Escobar might have actually pulled that back as a free kick for Trinidad and Tobago.
Looks exhausting.
This is the comeback, and Christian Roldando's looking, as you said, for his first international goal. I think saw his name up in lights there that it was going to be his first and his big moment. He was arriving, the run was good, the timing was good. It just takes his eye off at the last minute, trying to hit that first time towards the far post.
Jones to take the ensuing free kick.
We're up two. Not bad. We're up two in the first half.
We're going to stay home there as a bad tech. Jesus Ferreira doing the defensive work as well to get it clear. Mihailovic scuffed at it, but it worked for Ferreira.
It was the same person as well.
Zendejas, he's arguing that vein that was last off that little Jones, and just to miss it from up here. So the superlatives for Jesus Ferreira Wednesday night, fastest player in U.S. men's history to reach double-digit goals. Out there in 20 games. Just the fifth man ever to score multiple hat-tricks, and Clint Dempsey the only other to do both in competitive matches. Jordan Jones finds that over the top. And he says, look, it's context. He's scoring against Grenada and St. Kitts and Nevis, and what he's being judged on, in large part, is the start he got against the Netherlands at the World Cup, and he was done at the end of the first half. And this is where this sort of swirl comes around. And one of the things B.J. Callahan basically said, first of all, he doesn't shy away from the idea he needs to score goals more consistently. That's why they love the killer instinct he showed Wednesday night. But he also said all those other players, they have the same opportunity to score hat tricks against the same types of opponents. It's not like it's new for the U.S. to play against Grenada. St. Kitts and Nevis was the first time ever, but those types of smaller nations in Concacaf. Yet Ferreira has done what few others have been able to do.
Which is a fact, by the way. It's if you're a MLS fan, do you want to see Jesus Ferreira scoring against the Netherlands and Germany's and Argentina's and Copa America next year? That is the next level for him, but it's not saying that he's not capable of it just yet. And I truly believe, look, he's scoring how many goals this year? 10 goals and 18 in MLS. Last year, double-digit goals. It does feel like it's a chance now for him to take that next step, whether that's...
First touch aggressive and taking on that pass from Rodon. He's barging his way through and it goes down. Referee will give it as a goal kick on the field. Benjamin Pineda of Costa Rica is the video assistant referee. This is an interesting one.
Yeah, but Tony's just trying to shield it to get that ball's well and truly alive.
Oh, wait.
Depends how much contact. This will be a good look at how much is on Brian Reynolds here as he's trying to run him behind. Because he's already off balance there, gets up now, trying to scramble, gets the little touch. There was a little bit of, he's kind of throwing himself a little bit into Marvin Phillip that I don't think we're going to see that one. Busso as a penalty here.
Nope, hold on. Gotta resort back to this one, unfortunately, which has the...
See that one, Busso as a penalty here.
No, it's no penalty.
Mario Escobar didn't seem terribly interested in giving it, but they are just giving Benjamin Pineda a moment to take a look at that video.
Yeah, the question is going to be really how much does he grab him? But no, play on.
No VAR.
That's the right decision.
One final, at least for the moment, thought on Jesus Ferreira. Absolutely, the best way to quiet that is to score winning goals against Mexico in this Gold Cup final and to score goals at Copa America. And the first person who would say that is Jesus Ferreira himself. But he continues to play wonderfully well here. 5 goals for this tournament against the team. He scored his first ever goals for the United States just after getting his citizenship. Scored twice and had 3 assists as well in a friendly against Marvin Phillip and Trinidad and Tobago. Rodon trying to lift that up towards Busso. Would expect to see a fair bit of stoppage time because of the hydration break. Word from right now is 3 added minutes. But we're probably Rodon to win that back. Launch the tackle, can't take Busso off the ball. Tejas comes to get it. Guy who would love nothing more than to get a goal for himself here this evening. Cross for Dewan Jones. Indeed, 3 minutes still to go. Cuts it in. Mihailovic cuts it back. Lost his angle. Now is that a penalty? Yes, it is. Penalty. United States.
Penalty!
Jesus Ferreira to get back to back hat-tricks.
I would imagine he's going to grab this ball. Mihailovic's doing a good job. Out of the corner, Alvin Jones has laid himself out a couple of times in this first half.
Wow, so they did get a penalty. Penalty.
Yeah, doesn't come on the ball until he's already made contact with Mihailovic's legs, taking him to the ground. And we can confirm Jesus Ferreira is holding that ball right now to take this penalty and go for it.
If he scores, he'll be a hat trick.
First half hat trick. Oh boy.
Jesus Ferreira, born Christmas Eve 2000 in Colombia, came to the United States because his dad, David Ferreira, had signed on in Dallas. He was an MLS MVP, stayed here with his mother, Yudalmira, and his brothers. When his dad went back to continue his pro career in Colombia, became a U.S. citizen, become a star at FC Dallas, and an opportunity to make some history with back-to-back 3-goal games for the men of the United States. Will be one of the final kicks of this first half here in Charlotte. Marvin Phillip, 38 years of age, one of the most experienced players in Trinidad and Tobago's history, standing in his way. And the moment now is for Jesus Ferreira.
Will he do it?
History.
Will he do it?
Hat-tricks for the United States.
Will he do it?
Yes!
He does! Hat trick for Jose Ferreira. He's done it. He has done it, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gents, he has done it. Hat trick for Jose Ferreira.
Was putting on a finishing
Nice for Ray.
Off the ball as well. I'm sure whether he hears the noise or not, the best way to shut people up, keep doing your job, and that's hitting the back of the net. And Jesus does it again for the United States. Terrific scoring record in the
I'm going
red,
up
white,
to start a
blue.
movie, but
Okay.
I want to eat together.
Okay.
The United States has been playing international matches since August
I mean,
of
how soon is
1960.
halftime?
They played a game
Oh,
each
okay, all right.
week. Never in their history has a
Oh, it's now actually. Never mind. That's on us now.
Congratulations, Jesus
Well,
Ferreira.
Jesus Ferreira got a hat trick. That's amazing.
Into
That's absolutely
history
amazing.
this evening here in Charlotte. And oh, by the way, that's only the
Oh,
first
he was
half.
funny on the leg.
Rob Cohen and Alexi to give us their thoughts in the studio. 45 minutes down.
Right, guys. Well, we'll be back after the break.
United States 3. Trinidad
Alright guys, I am back, and this time we got box sports on, but sadly it's another preview. So don't mind that, bear with us here. And yeah, let's go.
Off, and that was well read by Tristan Hodge. Good step and pressure by Sands to win it back. Ferreira had a look for Zendejas, couldn't slide it in. Buzio for Roldan. He get his first career U.S. goal. It's in for Ferreira. Sands resets for DeJuan Jones.
More in the box here.
This cross stabbed away by Archer. And Reynolds stepping forward. Jalen Neal one-on-one there. And just going to wrap up Levi Garcia. Taking a yellow card.
First yellow in the tournament for the United States.
Hold on, getting the weather alert.
Look, we talk about Jalen Neal sometimes learning as a young player when you get grappled with a bigger physical player. In this case, Levi Garcia, and he's too tight. And what Levi Garcia does cleverly there is he just rolls Jalen Neal, and he uses his body to create the advantage and gets in behind him and forces Neal to then make that tackle, which is, of course, obstructing him. Tactical foul and a yellow card.
So yellow cards reset the end of the quarterfinal. Yeah. So if Neal was to be shown a yellow card in the quarterfinal next Sunday, he'd be suspended for a semifinal. But no one in the field for the U.S. at risk of missing the next game due to yellow card accumulation, as Reynolds somehow wriggles his way out of that. In for Ferreira. Reynolds was cut off, and that is going to be a foul. Sheldon Bateau is blocking off his run. And the U.S. a free kick. And it's interesting, behind the play, Matt Turner running 50 yards to come have a chat with Jalen Neal. The veteran leaders on this team now, Matt Turner coaching up the 19-year-old. And you've got Zendejas and Mihailovic standing over the free kick. Zendejas will walk away. Mihailovic hooking it in, too close to Phil.
Come on. You gotta curb it more than that.
Yeah, John, just off the back of your conversations about those different versions of the Gold Cup, and I think it's important to talk about the context of this one, and that this isn't the quote-unquote A group, and the Christian Pulisic's, Weston McKennie's, Flo Balogun, etc. These are players that have 11 to 23, have been in and around that team and part of the Nations League, and these are guys that are looking to win spots. And
Little cutback ball. It's going to work now for Gomez. His cross, that was a slip on the back post there. Late run from Shaw.
And that's why it's as important when we talk about this Gold Cup from a team perspective. And the U.S. wanting to maintain their status as the kings of Concacaf. And sure, this isn't the same group that we saw in the Nations League. So, but the bar has been raised. And so the challenge is, and the expectation still for this group of players to win it. It's going to be difficult. Mexico brought a really strong team. But it's as much about the team performance as it is about individuals. At any moment you get, even if it's in a 3-0 blowout against Trinidad and Tobago, you're impressing not just your teammates, your interim head coach of BJ Callen, but also the past and future current head coach of the national team, Greg Berhalter, who will take over after this tournament. And you better believe he's watching. So any chance you get in a U.S. shirt, you have to try to take an advantage of that and make and leave an impression on anybody that is watching, and so don't let those chances pass you by.
Garcia spinning around Neal. Got to be careful on a yellow card into the middle for Shaw. It's going to fall from Garcia. Turner makes the save. Second save of the game for Matt Turner, alertly off his line out for Trinidad and Tobago's first goal.
Levi Garcia's having a good game on the Trinidad side, and this time is able just to squeeze it across, and Magaziv watching on. I thought that might have been their chance to find a goal. If they were to get a goal today, it's going to come through him. We said that the other night when they played Jamaica, and he was the one that created their only goal in that game. A real handful 1v1. It's still a test, especially again for Jalen Neal, who's sitting on a yellow card. I actually wonder if that's a position that BJ Callahan might just say, hey, we're up 3-0, we don't want to get a red. You might see a sub for Aaron Long at some point.
Having already subbed out his partner, getting Miazga on for Miles Robinson. Here's Alvin Jones, the ensuing corner into a good area. Oh! It's going to take a deflection. It did. That was Garcia there who came in after it.
Was able to lose his man. It was Christian Roldan. Ran him to the near post, then spun out to the back. It's actually Reynolds who ends up challenging him. They might have a chance to play this one short if they choose. They got 2v1.
Jones once again back playing in Trinidad and Tobago after a spell last year with Ford Madison in USL League One. In swinging ball, Turner stays at home. Comes up in the air, some shouts there. That came off Christian Roldan. He's got the run of Zendejas. He plays it short for DeJuan Jones. Now long run Zendejas to hold himself on side. He's got Ferreira in the middle looking for a fourth goal. Here comes the cross.
Oh, what a terrible
idiot!
Really as far as Mihailovic, and the flag stays down. That was all on side. Back for Zendejas. Great cutback. Clipping it up. Jesus Ferreira. Not going to get to him at first. Hodge got an important touch.
Overlapping? What are you waiting for?
Brandon Vasquez was preparing to come on. He's gone back down to the corner where the subs are warming up. That might be a wait for a hydration break. As Mihailovic plays for DeJuan Jones, cuts it in, lets it go. Oh, did that take a block on the way through? Or was it just badly mishit? It really a goal kick.
Yeah, badly mishit at the end, but I love this first touch, positive movement inside. The defender's expecting him to take a touch, and instead his touch, instead of being close, was across his body to allow him or to set himself up for that shot. Just ended up slicing it wide.
Oscar working hard, can't get cleanly off of Shaw. Real Gill picks it up, he's running at Jalen Neal. He was trying to get the cavalry back there, and they do, and they win it back. Kate Cowell will also be making his way on here in a few minutes. Ferreira just kept that in play for Zendejas, had the run of Roldan, and he's fouled instead by Hodge.
Yeah, you heard Jenny talking about B.J. Callahan wanting to make the subs about it right now. We are going to see, it looks like 2. It does feel like the right time for that as well, because I would say you're starting to feel Trinidad and Tobago picking up the tempo, and the U.S. are dropping in their intensity. So that's typically the time in which you want to freshen it up, give some guys that have some fresh legs to go out there, and especially a guy like Kate Cowell. We said it would suit out in a game for him when Trinidad and Tobago are playing a little bit of a higher line. He can run in behind and use his speed. The challenge for him is going to be now executing and either getting those assists or some goals here.
Sands for Mihailovic. 2 options out on the left. Plays DeJuan Jones. Comes to meet Alvin Jones. Gets across, and Ferreira's right there! Skipped off his head into the stands.
Maybe the 4th.
Yeah, I can't believe it. The 4 that he's been in the last 2 games, back-to-back hat-tricks, and he misses this one. That almost feels easier than some of the other chances he's had. I mean, it's hit pretty hard here from DeJuan Jones, but yeah, I just think he gets caught in 2 minds. Do I want to head it? Do I want to chest it in? It comes at that height and ends up putting it over from about 2 yards away. Jesus Ferreira, huge chance for a 4th.
So Cowell and Vasquez are ready to come on. It'll be Zendejas and Roldan who make way. And that's something B.J. Callahan has talked to us about in these chats throughout the course of the tournament, this idea of not Ferreira or Vasquez, but rather Ferreira and Vasquez. What do we always say? The lineup changes over the course of any Gold Cup you look at for the United States. It's very different from the beginning to the end, and trying to develop different looks and different combinations. And as it starts to ramp up, the competition level, the intensity level, that's another way to do it. And they actually did make a late change there, so it's not going to be, that was a very late decision there. Vasquez is not going to come on. It is Julian Gressel. So Christian Roldan will order with a start. And his day is done. Same story for Alex Zendejas.
I think Ferreira's out.
And Kate Cowell, 19-year-old from Ceres, California, in San Joaquin Valley, San Jose Earthquakes homegrown player. Julian Gressel, who missed the opening of this tournament with his wife giving birth, is on now for his 4th ever appearance for the United States at the age of 29, naturalized American citizen, native of Germany. He's played his entire professional career here in the U.S. after coming to college. And those are subs for the U.S. there as we dip inside the final half hour to go. That was a giveaway there. Miazga sort of shrugging his shoulders at Ferreira right now about it. A little bit of a slip. Shaw's going to pick it up. A little cycle around it by Shannon. Oh,
my God.
Might have gotten a fingertip tip to that.
What a save!
What a save.
Holy shit, what a save.
It's just another reminder, though, of how, look, we've said that the level has dropped a little bit in the second half. Can they find a goal here, though?
Buzio opens it up. Julian Gressler's got King Cow wide open on the far side. It's going to reach Buzio instead. The shot is
Oh! You think he just blew it? There's a guy
blocked.
that was
From
left.
Buzio and from Cow
Oh, he
there.
needs to be kicked out.
And
You
Reynolds
know, you
defending
never play
on
for us
Real
again.
Gill.
Lucio, get out of here.
Dancing him all over the place.
You can't play like you can't. If you can't, oh, he missed. He had the
What
goal.
an idiot.
There's a
I
guy
can see him
running
saying
next
he
to
didn't
him.
like how his team
He
just seemed
didn't
to
pass the
Yeah,
ball.
I'm saying it's
play
blood
second
and
halves, essentially. Lose
buffoon.
down 3-0 to Jamaica in the first half. They get a goal in the second half, but it has been an improvement for them. So some of the halftime adjustments and subs that they've made have given them a little bit of life. They're also playing with some desperation and an intensity that the United States has yet to match in this second half. And I would also say, look, from the U.S., it's not like they haven't had some good opportunities in the second half. You haven't seen the same level of ruthlessness and quality in front of goal. It's just been some extra touches and bad decision-making in the final third.
As Rampersad there had his pass intercepted. Those things you talked about earlier. It's a different looking group, a very different roster than was at the Concacaf Nations League Finals. It's a Mexico roster that's pretty much exactly the same, and they're looking sharp. All things we said pretty much word for word 2 summers ago.
Yeah.
But that U.S. team, Matt Turner and Miles Robinson and others, grew into the tournament as it went along and beat Mexico in extra time in Las Vegas in the final. And that was really a summer where you thought, okay, we're back. This men's program is back on track after the disaster of missing the 2018 World Cup. It's also the last time that the U.S. men were in the top 10 of FIFA's rankings. They just moved up the other day to 11 off the back of winning the Nations League, so it could be a same story as well, that winning this tournament puts them into the top 10 of FIFA's rankings once again. Rampersad goes back to Juan Jones, gonna get there a bit awkwardly.
Corner, I think, yeah.
And that will be a corner for Trinidad and Tobago, their third of the game. And a change coming down for Trinidad and Tobago. Look back at Gomez first, though.
What, I mean, against Georgia Mihailovic is on
What's
the
that?
ground.
No,
Matt Turner's nowhere near that, and he's just
Watch.
watching that ding off the post. Look at that, just off the inside, and it kisses it off.
If it curved anymore,
Across
it
goal
would have done it.
and going out the other side. And
Curved it anymore.
that's one Matt Turner. There's no pressure on the ball at the top. It kind of was a broken play. You're not expecting that type of release. You're trying to get across your goal, and you're just hoping and praying, and they got the right result.
Kenny Corbin is on for the first time in this tournament. As a substitute, Hodge is off, popped up in the air by Bateau. Carroll just trying to get it partially clear. This man back is Shannon Gomez, who rattled that one off the post. Plays for San Antonio FC. Cal's going to get this championship.
Counter! It's front! Fucking shoot it! Shoot it! You should have shot it way sooner, though. You should have shot it way sooner, though. You should have shot it way sooner.
I'm glad that he took his time because he would have.
No. He should have shot it sooner because of the goalie could have just saved it like that.
Yeah, but the second time he beat him out.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about the field and the grass.
Oh, don't worry.
It just checks
now
it.
look.
Tries to hit it all the way back
He
to
didn't
front.
shoot.
King Cal using
Now
his
he's
speed.
safe. He's safe.
Fresh legs, how about it? Speed, yes sir.
Yeah.
Composure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Look,
Look at this. Cuts back.
I saw it all
Gets
before.
it.
Yeah, he didn't shoot.
Maybe the chance is
He
gone.
tried to shoot the guy.
Gomez was
Look,
back to try to make
here's
a
the key,
challenge.
ready?
What?
And then just one
Not
more,
this
that
one.
little extra touch.
This
little
one.
head fake
Yep.
and
Then the guy's
hesitation.
fall.
Sends Gomez to the
Take
deck.
it.
He
Yeah.
says, sit down. Open net, rolls it in the back of the net, and King Cal, the 19-year-old for the United States with his first international goal.
Wow, 19 years
Your
old.
job as a sub coming off
So
the
you're older
bench,
than me.
make an impression,
And he
take
scored.
advantage of your
19 years old.
opportunities, and he does just that.
By the age of 13, he was a bit of an urban myth for his prolific goal scoring in the U.S. Soccer Development Academy League in Central California. By 15, he had signed with the San Jose Earthquakes as a homegrown player. He was a star
Just in May for the U.S. team to quarterfinal of the Under-20 World Cup. He told us the other day in St. Louis just how much pride he feels wearing a United States jersey, whether it's for the U20s, whether it's for the senior team. Said, I just love playing for the United States, representing my country. And now, as a teenager, has scored his first international goal at the senior level in his 6th appearance.
Now what? About 3 times within that play that I thought that chance was gone. But somehow kept it together, and after a little, even again, like that cutback where he gets Phillip down, he still had to deal with Gomez back there, and the hesitation.
Here we go.
He just rush it.
Here we go!
Between Ferrer and like Gressel.
He didn't pass it well. Okay, we still have it.
Former U.S. assistant Luigi Gonzalez with the Earthquakes. That's a big tackle there to dump DeJuan Jones off the ball. But another of these very, very young players that's also part of the fun of a Gold Cup, is giving these kids and their kids an opportunity at this level, see what they can do. And that's a wonderful moment for Cade Cowell. Here's Ferreira, back for Buzio. He would love a goal in his home state. That was knocked away, though.
And look, for Cade Cowell,
this is going to be one-on-one.
Here comes Tobago the other way. He's got to be careful. Sitting on a yellow card. That's just terrific defending. Royale Gil.
Yeah, especially on the yellow card there. Getting
at
to the
least
inside out, but still able just to pivot, turn, accelerate, and not dive in without getting contact on the ball, which he did superbly there.
Really aggressive searching for it. Looks to check it back for Reynolds, who had to come back to get it.
Yeah, just on Cade Cowell. He got this start the other night. So he comes off the bench in the Jamaica game. Looked good, looked fresh against a tired Jamaica team. So then we can say, okay, you get the start against St. Kitts and Nevis. In a 6-0 win, I didn't think he was terribly impactful. Not great end product, which is where you're going to be judged when you have a lot of the ball like that. So then you're on the bench for this game. Christian Roldan gets the start. How do you respond to that? Well, that's exactly what you do. Here comes for more.
Okay, go!
And go! Oh! You see that? Yeah, I did.
Just so dynamic. Cade Cowell with the ball at his feet. And an ability from a starting position to just accelerate.
It's like we get so close to
the worst thing you can do as a defender for Alvin Jones is to get ahead of steam. You've got to engage him early, or you back all the way up. But if you're just 5-6 yards off him and he starts running at you, so difficult to defend that. And he just gets him twisted inside out, comes on the right foot, hits the low and high towards the goal. It's a great shot. Just dinged off the outside the post, and Cade Cowell inches away from his second.
Brandon Vasquez will replace Georgi Mihailovic.
Yeah,
so he will after a little bit of a delay. Get this Ferreira plus Vasquez look. Mihailovic's another player trying to ramp up his fitness the right way at the end of his season in the Netherlands. Bit of a break. Had that monster night, 2 goals and 2 assists on Wednesday, replaced now by Brandon Vasquez with 20 minutes to go.
Not impactful from a stat perspective, but I thought that he had a good game, Georgi Mihailovic, and the way in which he connected defense to attack, some of his running, his movement off the ball, intelligent player. You can see how he's really developed over the last couple of years as well. So while there's a little look of frustration, I think, from him, maybe some of the set pieces, maybe not being able to get himself on the score sheet, it's one of those that you have to look at in a different lens, I think, and just his overall involvement with the game. Think about Ferreira's second goal. Mihailovic plays the passes, and Diaz gets squared across, and then they end up finishing that one off. So good day for him in hot conditions, and BJ Callahan once again managing his minutes.
Vasquez's first touch, trying to flip that on. A fascinating young man on the field, number 20 for Trinidad and Tobago. You can see there, got a haircut, shaved his head since the game Wednesday. Kele Ovray, 19 years of age. He was born in France. His mother's from Trinidad and Tobago. His dad, Stéphane Ovray, born in France, played internationally for Guadeloupe, has ties to Saint-Martin, which is another French overseas department. Ovray actually came to Kansas City when his dad was signed by the Kansas City Wizards in 2010. So the U.S. was one of the 5 national teams that Ovray was eligible to play for.
Is that it?
He's in Sporting Kansas City's academy now. He's not playing even for their reserve team. So he, like Jalen Neal, has made his international debut before his senior professional debut. He's just won the ball off Brian Reynolds there. Reynolds
Reynolds able to win it back. Reynolds driving on. Reynolds into the box, rides the challenges. Vasquez.
Oh, Vasquez! He could have scored.
Brian Reynolds a couple of times tonight, and it shows you that that's not luck. In the way he's able to just kind of fumble his way. Look at the strength there. So when he's inside the box, Gomez now can't make the tackle on him, and he gets his body in front really smart, and then dumps it off to Vasquez. Good shot that's heading towards target, but that's a great challenge from Archer, staying big in front of the net to push that one behind for a corner.
Julian Gressel to take one of the best servers from dead balls of anyone in MLS the last 5 years.
Just jinxed him there.
Only as far as Cowell. Maybe that's how they drew it up. It's
Corner.
a great save by Phillip. Down to his right to send it out for another.
Okay, Julian Gressel, one of the worst set piece takers. Let's try that on the second leg. This one comes out to Cowell.
Oh, he missed
It looks like it's going wide, but Phillips has to make
So it's a goal kick?
the save
No,
there
it's
just to be sure. So it's Julian Gressel out from the opposite side.
No, Dee.
Number 8 pick of the 2017 draft out of Providence. To Atlanta United, where he won an MLS Cup. Now in Vancouver, he'll swing a better ball in that time, and that was Archer up to get it. Buzio, he really wants a goal. Clips it along for Ferreira instead. They all want a goal at this point. Ferreira, can he get across away? Yes, he can. Yasko was trying to barge his way in. Cowell off the chest. Poked away from behind there by Gill. Intercepted right back.
Reynolds Shaw's down after it looked like he awkwardly cleared that one. Of course, the United States don't have to play the ball out. It doesn't look like they will.
And Ferreira is just now seen that Hackshaw's down. Neville Hackshaw, 27-year-old who plays at Oakland Roots in the USL Championship, will receive treatment. As we will have a hydration break. Here once again in Charlotte, DeAndre Yedlin looks like he might be about to come on. More goals pouring into the other game as well in Santa Clara. Cade Cowell giving the U.S. their 4th goal here midway through the second half. Let's send you back to our studio. Here's Rob Stone.
All right, guys, thank you. Quick update over on FS1 Jamaica, St. Kitts, and Nevis. The Reggae Boys have just added a 4th, so their goal difference is at +7. The U.S., though, at +10. If Jesus Ferreira was the first half story for the U.S., though, Cade Cowell has been the second half story since coming on in the 61st minute.
He's been incredibly lively, and you know, when we talked to BJ Callahan, he talked about that. He said maybe I have to start to think about Cade Cowell as coming into a game and using his skill set in a game where it's a little bit more wide open and being an impact sub. And that's what your chats were doing, coming off the bench and making an impact. He's done that with his goal, but then also just his overall energy.
Look, we're talking about a lot of young players getting opportunities and stepping up and making the most of it. You're just seeing someone that is so cool.
Oh, wow.
But you know,
so
this is a luxury of riches. This is something that U.S. soccer has been wanting for years, to have multiple opportunities to see young talent come through and fight for that forward position. We've been lacking in that for quite some time.
Jamaica, another goal, guys. It is now 5-0, and that goal difference starting to tighten up. The U.S. +10, Jamaica at +8. We'll be keeping an eye on it, guys.
And again, Rob, if it does finish tied, then it goes to goals scored. If that finishes tied, it would drop to fair play points, which is based on yellow cards and red cards and the like. So it's where it's to the U.S. benefit to just keep the pedal pressed down and keep going. That's what Brian Reynolds is doing. Ferreira trying to return for Reynolds.
Oh, my mom always said it pays to be nice.
Is that actually what she said?
No, not really.
Okay. You just wanted to work a reference to her in a minute. All right, so quarter hour to go. DeAndre Yedlin preparing to come on as the 5th and final substitution for the U.S. And we'll see where he lands. It's interesting. Julian Gressel here has dropped a little further behind, at least for the moment, allowing Reynolds to get back.
Gotta go up.
BJ Callahan.
Gotta go up. Gotta go up. Oh my fucking. You know what? Hold on.
What happened here?
I'll be down. Just give me a second.
Kukla. Hey, Kukla. Look how dirty you are.
Okay, I'm like doing like two things at once.
Yeah, let's watch the game. You can't be spoiling it for me.
See, okay, hold on. I'm not used to this. Hold up. See, it's been here the whole time. I don't know what you did.
Nothing.
It's been here this whole time, my guy.
And then this is a guy that, look at his just picking out the pass here, Julian Rosas.
Golazo!
Into an area, hoping he hits a blue shirt. That's picking up your head. It's finding a teammate with the right way of the pass. And then
suck my dick.
as we said, has had a couple of touches in and around the box. Been a little heavy on his feet. This one is perfection.
It's just one goal on the
just
world.
cushions it enough to then take it with the second touch to roll in the back of the net and get his first international goal for the United States.
21 a month ago.
Well, two more to seal the deal for sure.
Kansas City is a 15-year-old to become a Sporting KC homegrown player.
Yeah.
If you remember the Gold Cup 2 years ago where the U.S. played the home group stage in Kansas City, that was his
if he did 6-0, that would be like, that's it.
Italy,
Seal the deal.
country of his dad's birth. He's not gotten consistent opportunities with the U.S. in the 2 years since. That's why it's great to see him back on the field. Getting his first goal, had 2 assists already in this tournament. And Julian Dressel, his second assist in 4 games played for his adopted country. And so 5-0 here and 5-0 in Santa Clara. So we're back where we started with a 3-goal cushion for the United States. And Hackshaw back out there after receiving treatment just before the hydration break. U.S. would love to keep a 0 on this scoreboard as well right now as Miazga backtracking, defending. That's a great little cutback by Garcia. Turner able to push it away. Gomez picks it up. Back to the far side. Gill plays it wide.
Oh no, but if
what keeps happening?
And that's out for a corner.
Levi Garcia again. We said if they're going to score, it's going to come through. He makes a nice run. Gets Miazga backing up. Turns the corner. That's poor defending from Matt Miazga to go down to ground there.
I'm going to have to refresh it because I don't know what's happening, but I hope that it doesn't change this time around. Okay, there we go. There we go.
That was Turner's third save of this game. Alvin Jones prepares to take Trinidad and Tobago's fourth corner.
Well, it's Trinidad, so it's Trinidad's corner.
Swinging ball headed over the top there by Rampersad.
Yeah, gets a good leap at it. Rampersad coming off of his first international goal against Jamaica. This time he's trying to challenge two U.S. defenders. I didn't think he was going to get it past Vasquez. We got a Trinidad Tobago player down now.
Another corner? Fuck.
So this will have the stoppage time now.
Well, that's going to add more
Garcia
fucking extra time.
is down, and Trinidad and Tobago are out of substitutions.
Well, fuck it, I hate it here.
And there is another game to go here tonight at Bank of America Stadium. Incidentally, it'll be in Group B, Honduras and Haiti. And boy, were there a lot of Honduran fans outside the building when we came in this afternoon. Mexico and Qatar will be playing the other game this evening in Santa Clara. Mexico's already advanced. Haiti need only a draw to advance. Honduras would have to win that game. And Mexico, Qatar on FS1. Honduras, Haiti on FS2. The other groups, C and D, will finish on Tuesday night. Simultaneous kickoffs at Red Bull Arena in New Jersey and in Houston. And the U.S. will be in the quarterfinal Sunday in Cincinnati, taking on someone from Group D, which right now is down to Guadeloupe, Guatemala, and Canada. Canada have to win against already eliminated Cuba to advance in that one. There is a scenario where it could be a three-way tie atop that group, and it goes to a three-way tiebreaker to see who advances. Canada's in real trouble. And in Group C, Panama's already through. Martinique need only a draw. El Salvador and Costa Rica. Costa Rica can beat Martinique and get in there. As Ferrero opens it up to the far side to Dewan Jones. Jones cuts around Gill, can heat back to it, now he runs out of room. Jenny, let's hear more about your feelings and sort of what you've observed from this U.S. team this week.
John, something I always like to do after the U.S. scores, I look over to the bench. I watch as all the different players celebrate their teammates. We've had so many positive goal scorers, first-time goal scorers, and I think sometimes culture is a bit of a buzzword that we overuse, but when you talk to these players, and John, Stu, we've all been there. They're so happy with the national team. It's very real. Alex and Dale said he's happiest with this group.
Come on, guys. Crossing.
No! You missed it.
For U.S. corner, Jenny.
Sean Johnson, who's been a part of this mix for really over 10 years, said this is the best vibe it has ever been. So that culture was established by Greg Berhalter. It has been continued by BJ Callahan. And that culture is saying something about what we're seeing, and they are just getting started throughout this tournament.
Dressel will take the ensuing corner for the U.S. The fifth of the night.
Good.
It's going to be driven. Miazga rising back in front. That looked like it was going wide before Alvin Jones headed away. Midland wins it right back. Ferreira will chase it down. And tackle that last off Ferreira, in fact, by Kadeem Corbin.
That's a great ball. And I like this ball from Julian Gressel. The old driven ball, flat ball to the back post, so it's rising over that first set of defenders. Miazga with a free run, free header, trying to guide it. It looked like goal bound, but it was going to go wide. But that gives an opportunity for a second player if it had not been cleared there. I think Alvarez just lost both of his shin guards here. Both came flying out of his socks.
Gives you a sense of how important they are to him.
Paperweights. Yeah, there's the second one. He's got his first one in. Mario Escobar telling him to get the second one.
Why is it doing that?
The support is in play right now. With The U.S. have 5-0 on Trinidad and Tobago. The last 2 games against Trinidad and Tobago.
Why is it doing
6-0 at the Gold Cup of 2019, 7-0 in a friendly January 2021. Never in U.S. men's history have they beaten the same opponent 3 consecutive times by 5 or more goals. That would be the case if this scoreline holds up tonight.
Yeah, what I would just say about this performance again is it's professional in the sense that this is what they expected to do, but they've done it, and they've done it fairly comfortably. Sure, Jovan Jones has an early chance in the first half, but really,
Oh my God!
The flag will come up anyway.
Jesus Ferrer once again doing his job, scoring a hat-trick, back-to-back hat-tricks, first time in U.S. history. Kate Cowell getting his first goal, Brunzio getting his first goal, subs making an impact, controlling the game with the ball. So I think down the line it's check, check, check. And the crowd, which you can hear now, is responding to that. You know, they like what they've seen.
Picks that up from Tobago Jones. Jones getting on the run. A little burst of speed on the outside. Inside for Vasquez. He'll cycle it around.
You know, the other part of the conversation, John, is I don't feel like we've talked about. The U.S. have a week now until the next game on Sunday in Cincinnati. So that's a lot of time on the training ground for a group of players that came into this tournament never having played together as a team. It gives time for recovery across the board to try to get guys fully healthy. Also resting the guys that have had a lot of minutes.
And there is an opportunity for potentially some roster changes for the U.S. before that game. Alan Senor is out with a strained hamstring right now.
Look, there he goes.
In for Kate Cowell.
And there he goes. Oh, he's such a good dribbler. He's a good dribbler. Yeah, but he's a good dribbler.
He did a good job.
Congrats to him and his wife Eliza. They were expecting their first child. We're hoping he's going to continue to recover. Aiden Morris not with the team right now for personal reasons. We don't know any more than that. But there is the opportunity for injuries to make roster changes before the quarterfinals, so that could be coming down in the next few days. One of the other things, you know, the terrific Tom Rinaldi feature, Paul Caligiuri's goal, 89, and the guys in the studio talking about, you know, guys who saw that and then were part of the 94 World Cup. Guys who watched 94 were part of 02. Our generation watched 02, and you guys, you and Mo and others that came into the team. Matt Turner watched in 2010, gave up his dreams of being a baseball player. Guy was hitting home runs at Busch Stadium in St. Louis this week. Gave up being a baseball player to pursue his soccer dream. And just the way that soccer has continued to grow in this country as Cowell gets it.
And there we go.
He could have just been more powerful with that shot.
That's because they're starting
more powerful with that shot.
Get that late time goal against Jamaica. Has a good look here. It's a difficult one because he's trying to sweep it across to the back post with his left foot. Ends up coming off the heel. It just kind of pushes it past the post. But he's had a couple of opportunities. You can see his frustration a little bit. But there's not much you can do for a guy that wants to start, scores in the first game, then you're like, hey, okay, Jesus Ferrer starting. Oh, guy scored a hat-trick. Second, third game. Oh, guy scored a hat-trick again. What else can you do? So, you know, I'd imagine you can't bench a guy who's scored 2 straight hat-tricks. So Vasquez's role for now is going to be off the bench and having an impact in these types of games.
5 minutes.
Here's the punchline. 2 weeks before that game in Trinidad in 1989, the U.S. got a crucial point in a scoreless draw with El Salvador. It was a game played in the suburbs of St. Louis in Fenton. It was a stadium that housed 8,500 fans. Now, they sold it out, but that was a stadium that housed 8,500 fans. The total home attendance for the U.S. in that summer of '89 in 4 home games, which got them to the World Cup, was 37,500. Not as an average, that's a total in 4 games. There were just under 37,000 in Chicago last week. There are definitely more than 37,000 here tonight for a single game in Charlotte, a city the U.S. has never technically played in before. And it just gives you a sense of those key moments and how significant those moments are. And we talk often about one of the metaphors you can use is just rolling the boulder up the hill for soccer in America. Another huge moment coming in 3 years in the 2026 Men's World Cup.
Are you fucking kidding? Why does it do this every
Takes
time?
a little bit, and then Escobar losing the
Why?
on his whistle.
Why?
It's
Why does
fun
he keep
to
doing that?
acknowledge and think about these types of milestones.
Why does
And
he
the
keep
way the
doing
sport
that?
is growing
Why?
nationwide. Cincinnati, Ohio, another great example. We were there a couple of years ago, and they blew the doors off MLS when they came into the league in 2019. Just an incredible stadium they've built. That's where we're going to be a week from tonight. 2 weeks from tonight, SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, live here on Fox in the Gold Cup final. And when we say that that's right up against the beginning of the FIFA Women's World Cup, we will all of us literally be on airplanes that night, right after the Gold Cup final, excitedly heading to Australia and New Zealand to see if the women of the United States can make even more history and win an unprecedented third World Cup in a row.
And on different planes, I might add.
He says with some saltiness in his voice. Just an incredible summer of soccer all the way here on Fox Sports, and we're so privileged to get to be a part of it. As Ferreira has that pop-up on him, and certainly it is well documented, well understood, the significance of that U.S. women's team in creating history for young boys and young girls.
Yeah, I mean, a 15-year-old team beat professional women.
That is a concern.
15-year-old boys.
It's good to see him
He's up now.
back up to his feet.
Gingerly.
Lamer.
The U.S. are out of subs here.
Loser Lamer.
And it remains 5-0 for Jamaica in stoppage time. So the U.S. looks like job done here. Knew they needed a big win just to keep pace. They have done that with about 2 minutes to go. Hey, Cal, chance for another. Vasquez would love one. Back in for Buzio. How about another from him? Phillip the save. Cowell swinging a miss on the rebound. Might have been caught by Alvin Jones. Back in for Ferreira. Buzio hit it up in the stands.
A couple of looks for Buzio. Phillip makes a great save on the first one. Kate Cowell involved again, cutting open this defense. Seeing some positive signs from him in areas that you would expect. This one goal bound. Phillip stands tall, 2 hands on it, pushes it away. Kate Cowell feels like, I mean, he's not missing a ball like that without some contact, but I think even Mario Escobar is seeing it and said, hey, Kate, I saw it. Maybe a foul in another day, 5-0, you guys are winning. Let's just get out of here.
Yeah, like.
But Kate Cowell says, hey, give me the ball. I'm going for another one.
Quickly in.
Oh, here he goes.
Here's his
6! 6!
His second goal of the tournament.
Yeah,
6
Woo!
United States.
Woo! Got this in the bag. Got this in the fucking bag.
It never gets old hitting the back of the
Never
net.
gets old.
The opponent.
Never gets
For
fucking
Brandon
old.
Vasquez, again, as we said, playing behind a guy who scored 2 straight hat tricks. Take advantage of your opportunities. Kate Cowell off the bench, goal and assist for him. The timing of the run, no question about offside. He's onside there. And I thought that maybe this first touch, you're going to see just the timing of the run there. Look
He
at
got
that.
it in
He's
the
a full
back.
step onside. That first touch, maybe a little behind himself, but so cleverly it just slows up his run.
Alright, yeah.
Takes a couple of extra steps to gather himself right here. That
Yeah,
ball comes
teammate.
behind him. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let the ball come in front and then just lifts it over Phillip.
Yeah.
Really clever finish
Yeah, you
with his
fucking-
left foot there, showing some composure.
wish.
And a nice moment for a guy who's missed a couple of chances and getting an opportunity there for his second international goal. Third, rather, 2 of which have been in this tournament.
And that's the end.
That's it, we win!
Matter of days
We
after
win.
the U.S. match, the biggest ever win at a Gold Cup, 6-0 over St. Kitts and Nevis. They do it again. Jesus Ferreira, first man in
That's
U.S.
it, we win.
history with hat tricks in back-to-back games. And this
we
young
win.
team is roaring into the knockout stage at this Concacaf Gold Cup. We'll send you back to Rob Stone in
I
our
might call him
studio
my
as
friend,
it
remember?
finishes here in Charlotte. The United
Don't make me
States
do any hard
6,
work now.
Trinidad and Tobago 0.
John, Stu, thank you. So let's take a look now at your updated
Wow.
Group A standings. Jamaica, St. Kitts, and Nevis will be done within seconds.
Alright, let me switch
but
my
they're not going to find
camera.
enough goals in that amount of time. The U.S., let's give them the top spot due to that superior goal
Wow,
difference.
what a
Jamaica
game.
also moving on to the
That's all I
quarterfinals.
gotta
Both the
say.
U.S.
What a
and the
game.
Reggae Boys will play next on Sunday in Cincinnati.
Wow.
TNT
What a
eliminated.
game,
We'll be
guys.
back inside our studio.
Final
Rob,
score
Kobe, Mo, and
is
Alexia
USA
Valdez back here with you.
6.
Just 8 days ago, the U.S. started
And
this tournament.
Trinidad
Really fortunate
and
to find a
Tobago,
late goal to tie things up with
Goose egg,
Jamaica. Since
0.
then, Goal scoring has not been an issue. It is now back-to-back 6-0 wins. Kobe, I'll start with you. How do you now feel about this U.S. team?
I'm feeling pretty good. You know the way it goes. If you had told me beforehand, okay, playing against Trinidad and Tobago, I was at a win 2 or 3.